The little girl just waved her small hand and instantly filled the empty rice jar at home. When she heard the news that her family had no money, she immediately turned the sweet potatoes in the yard into medicinal herbs worth millions of dollars. But these were all small matters for her. The little girl was originally an angel from the divine realm who descended into the human world to experience true love. But her mother died right after she was born, and because her father wasn't home, the housekeeper who had always liked her father threw her out onto the street. Fortunately, at that moment, a kind-hearted driver passing by saw her and wanted to take her home to adopt. But the man thought about how poor his family was and decided to give up. But the little girl suddenly burst into tears, wanting to make him keep her through this way. The man looked at the pitiful girl, and in the end, he couldn't resist bringing her home. The mother looked at the child in her husband's arms and immediately felt helpless because their family had already run out of food. Little did they know, the girl's arrival was about to change the family's fate. At that moment, the eldest sister beside them saw the little girl grabbing her hand and refusing to let go. She happily told her parents right away that the girl wanted to stay at their home. Thinking of their family's situation, the eldest sister immediately decided to find another job the next day to help support the little girl. Hearing their conversation, the little girl immediately used magic to fill the rice jar at home completely. Everyone was instantly overjoyed, thinking the girl was their family's lucky star, and they decided to let her stay. But just as they were celebrating, soldiers collecting grain suddenly barged into the man's house. The mother tried to ask them to wait a few more days, but was shoved aside by a soldier. The little girl, feeling distressed for her mother, immediately wanted to use magic to punish the soldier, but was stopped by a voice from outside the door. The newcomer was none other than the father's former friend, who was also the soldier's superior. Seeing it was someone he knew, the father immediately wanted to ask him to wait a few more days. But the friend, who had already been promoted, suddenly changed his attitude and revealed his scheme. He angrily kicked aside a chair and told the man to crawl under his crotch. If he didn't, he had to pay money. The man looked at his former friend, shocked that he would treat him this way. He immediately became furious, but looking at his family, the man still chose to compromise and was about to agree. Little did he know, the friend only wanted to humiliate him, because even if he crawled through, he wouldn't exempt the grain. But just as the man was about to kneel, the little girl suddenly cast a spell that kept her father from moving. But the friend thought the man was unwilling to kneel, so he immediately ordered his men to smash everything in the man's house. The man tried to stop them, but was shoved aside by the soldiers. Soon, the soldiers found the only rice jar left in the corner. The friend looked at the rice in his hand and immediately ordered the soldiers to carry the rice jar away. Hearing that they wanted to take her food, the little girl immediately used magic to increase the jar's weight, making it impossible for them to carry it. Just as the friend wanted to try himself, the girl once again used magic to stick both his feet to the ground. No matter how hard he pulled, he couldn't lift them. Not until two subordinates used all their strength did they finally pull his feet free. But his head was badly injured from the fall. Seeing this bizarre scene, the friend no longer dared to forcefully collect grain and could only leave with his men for the time being. But just then, the mother fainted. The man immediately wanted to get a doctor for his wife, but was shocked to find that the family had no money left. The man suddenly remembered that in the yard they still had sweet potatoes growing, so he wanted to dig them up to sell for money. When the little girl heard this, she thought sweet potatoes weren't as valuable as medicine, so she used magic to turn the sweet potatoes in the yard into medicinal herbs worth millions of dollars. The next day, when the father went to dig the sweet potatoes, he was shocked to discover the sweet potatoes had all turned into herbs. But just as they were about to sell them, the little girl suddenly started crying. Fortunately, the eldest sister understood what she meant, so she brought the little girl along to the market. But as soon as they got to the market, they were slandered by Mrs. Jessica, who sold fake medicine across from them, claiming their herbs were fake and that eating them would kill people. Seeing the third sister who had fallen while picking up a pinwheel, Mrs. Jessica stepped right on her hand. The eldest sister rushed forward to stop her and managed to move Mrs. Jessica's foot away. The little girl beside them immediately became angry, so she directly used magic to heal the third sister's brain. After the third sister recovered, she immediately went to Mrs. Jessica's stall and exposed that her herbs were all fake. Using her quick wit, she left Mrs. Jessica speechless and begging for mercy, and her actions directly stunned the eldest sister. Seeing her younger sister once again using her quick mind line to sell all the herbs at high prices, she couldn't help but sigh that the third sister had become a business genius. Just as the two were about to leave after selling the herbs, they ran into the wealthy young master Jack, who came to cause trouble. He demanded to take away the money they earned from selling the herbs. When the eldest sister refused, he tried to drag the third sister to go back with him. The eldest sister tried to stop him, but was pushed to the ground. Jack even wanted his men to teach the eldest sister a lesson. At that moment, the little girl immediately used magic to turn the eldest sister into a taekwondo master. Then, with just a few moves, the eldest sister taught all of his men a harsh lesson. Just as the little girl was happy, Jack's men received his signal and quietly moved behind the eldest sister to attack her. Jack finally found the chance to have his men capture the two sisters. The little girl wanted to help her eldest sister, but her eyes were covered, and without seeing, she couldn't use her magic. But at that moment, Jack began to lay his hands on the little girl.